So what do you do if you haven't got anyone to cuddle at home?
A business that lets people pay for hugs.
Cuddle workshops.
Cuddle parties. Chris, I guess the name kind of says it all. We're all wondering, what is this story about tonight?
So you're basically cuddling strangers. Now, who would choose to do that?
I'm Madelon Guinazzo. I am the co-founder of Cuddlist, one of the first, if not the first, certification program in the country for professional cuddling. I am a trainer and a certified facilitator for these workshops on consent.
It's coming.
Feel pretty good?
Yeah. I'm going through a divorce, and I was talking with one of my friends, and I was like, I really miss human contact. I mean, cuddling and snuggling, I just miss that so much. And my friend was like, aren't there parties for that? I looked on the internet, and yeah, these things called cuddle parties.
When I say cuddle party to people, sometimes I can see the expression on their face. They're like, oh, they're picturing some kind of an orgy, like a free-for-all.
Oh, right next to the kitty.
And that's very telling. We live in a culture that doesn't talk about touch. And our basic approach to it has been just don't do it. Let me get you a name tag. Huh?
I had to go to the doctor's office when I was in my 20s, and she touched my arm to take my blood pressure. And I remember crying because it had been so long since someone had touched me. You know somewhere deep down inside that that's what you need, but it's not emphasized.
We have conflated the idea of physical closeness with sexuality. If you think that in order as an adult to get any touch, you have to go that far with somebody or you have to be in a relationship, that's very daunting. So I passed out the rules. Does everybody who want one has one? Great. Okay, who has rule number 1?
Number 1, pajamas stay on the whole time.
Rule number 2, you don't have to touch anyone you don't want to at a cuddle party ever.
It's all about being at choice, being empowered, being able to say yes and no. And in order to be able to say yes and no, we have to be asked.
Rule number 3, you must ask first and get a verbal yes before you touch anyone.
Asking is something that we haven't had modeled a lot in our culture.
Rule number 4, if you are a yes to an invitation, say yes. If you're a no, say no.
So that's what happens at workshops. They practice in a really simple way in terms of how would you like to connect physically or not connect physically.
I didn't feel comfortable owning my no and stating my no. And so I did a number of different things that I didn't feel fully comfortable with. Now I feel much more comfortable saying no. I feel much more comfortable saying my yes. And so I don't feel as much at the mercy of other people's requests or their needs or desires.
Just ask permission, wait for a verbal yes or no. If you're a yes, say yes. If you're a no, say no. If you're a maybe, say no. If somebody says no, it's wonderful to say, thank you for taking care of yourself. So you're gonna get approximately 1 minute, and we're gonna practice these rules.
You know what, it's funny because even at cuddle party, it's even hard to say no to somebody who says, oh, do you want to cuddle? And like, no, I don't want to, and you're supposed to just say, no, thank you, or just no. So I'm opting out. Do you want me to leave the area? It still feels horrible saying no.
No. Thank you for taking care of yourself.
In Cuddle Party, we say the ability to say no is the key to being able to be close to anyone. And we all have conflict around that, but it's really important to me that they know that they're at choice. Thank you for taking care of. The next step now is to discuss between the three of you what you would all agree on. So find the mutual yes.
I would really like to be the middle of a spoon sandwich.
I like to be one of the ends of the spoon sandwich.
I would be a yes to being one of the outside pieces of a spoon.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, it works.
Oh my God.
That works.
So great. May I put my arm on?
Yes. You're a big sponsor. Yeah. Jim, may I put my arm under your arm? Okay. Yeah.
So is this okay?
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay if I put my arm?
Yes.
Jim, is it okay if my arm extends to touch you?
No, I'm good, thank you.
What'd you say?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
So my request is, can you put your hand there?
Kind of on your face.
Jim, I'm going to
is
pull
it
your
alright?
shirt
Oh,
down.
yes, good idea, thank you.
Okay.
The cuddling is a bonus, and I get to practice relating to people who are practicing relating to me in ways that are healthy and mature. It's just like really impacted how I process the world. I mean, I wish I had learned it in kindergarten.
Yeah.
The rules of the road in a cuddlist session and at Cuddle Party, they ensure that everybody feels good about how they're participating from moment to moment. That's the world I want to live in. I want that in the workplace. I want that in the public domain. I want that in pretty much every relationship.
Good? Happy Pride!
You made it. Happy Pride. Yay. It's gorgeous.
Marketing is a weak spot of mine. I'm very sensitive to the stigma that's still around it. And sometimes I get the feeling that people are kind of imagining the scarlet A on me a little bit.
How's it going?
Good, how are you? Yeah, so what's going on with all this? Like,
We're handing out flyers and, promoting Cuddle Party, just bringing the awareness. I still think I don't do much publicity or promotion, but this seemed like a fun way to get, other than just meet up.
that's awesome.
So, what group are you guys?
Cuddle Party, the big banner. It's a workshop on communication, on consent and boundaries, and affectionate, nurturing, non-sexual touch. And I'm also a professional cuddler, so I do individual one-on-one sessions, and I'm developing a certification training program for that. Professional cuddler. Yeah, I know. It's new. It's new.
Take it out.
It's all about community. It's all about knowing who you are. And knowing how to express that.
The only problem with this is that we're either going to have to make cuddle parties bigger, do more cuddle parties, because our wait list is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
I'm working on making more facilitators.
Good.
Cuddle Party has over 150 facilitators now, worldwide. So as this movement grows, it's more important than ever that it do so in a way that's in integrity and it become really socially acceptable that people are engaging in this kind of self-care. My colleagues and the people that I work with, even when we're not working, this is the way we relate to each other, thanking each other for saying no and taking care of each other. It's very natural for us now. I love the idea that someday our work will be obsolete. Our work will be done because everybody will know this.
Dude, it's just cuddling. You know, I've noticed you around the office lately, and I gotta tell you, buddy.
Make him
use a hug. Come here. Bring it in, buddy. Bring it in.
Let's do it. Here we go. Here we go.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling
Keep it appropriate.
I do feel a little bit warmer inside. I don't know, like in a really comfortable way. I don't know. Maybe it's a stuffed animal too. I'm gonna be a little spooked.
Okay, cool.
Okay, back to you guys in the studio. Oh, this is nice. Okay, we'll see you in the 7 o'clock hour. Night, night.